more than a goal at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup after host countries New Zealand, Australia won their games by a lone goal each against Norway and Ireland yesterday. We've got one more game to go down in the next 28 minutes, and that's the clash between Spain and Costa Rica. Remember, you can watch us live from anywhere across the globe this morning. Jump on our Facebook fan page, Solutions 939 FM, Solutions 939 FM, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. It's us at Solutions 939 FM. Let's go on a break, and when we return, we jump and look at updates coming from the world of tennis. We look at updates from the world of NBA, and we talk football. There's also preseason and transfer stories. Do not move a muscle. Okay, well, starting with the games going down today in the world of tennis at the Hopman Cup in Group A. Well, remember the game between Aliza Cornet and Belinda Bencic. What we're going down has been cancelled. While Aliza Cornet will take on Celine Knife by 2 o'clock, and by there will be doubles by 4 o'clock, where Leandro Riedi will be teaming up with Richard Gasquet to battle. Okay, well, it's going to be single between Leandro Riedi and Richard Gasquet. So, Rady Bencic's game against Cornet and Gasquet doubles, has been cancelled. Looking at the Group B of the Hopman Cup, it is going to be a battle between Elisa Mertens and Rebecca Masarova, while David Goffins will take on Carlo Alcaraz by 5 o'clock in the Group B of the Hopman Cup. And remember, Carlo Alcaraz just coming from the Wimbledon triumph, which he had over the weekend. In the Swedish Open ATP 250, Filipe Misolic will take on Lorenzo Musetti by 10 o'clock this morning. That should be the next less than 2 hours, as Casper Ruud will lock hands with Sebastian Offiner, while Andrei Rublev will be up against Alexander Zverev. Federico Coria will be the last player when he faces Francisco Scadendolo by 2:30. Moving away from tennis this morning, and let's also see what is also going down. Well, still talking tennis, Ukraine Tennis Federation, UTF Chief Executive Evgeny Zhukin says no issue with Ukrainian players refusing to shake hands with Russian or Belarusian opponent. The Wimbledon crowd booed Victoria Azarenka when she did not shake Elina Svitolina hand on center court earlier this month, and left Belarusian Azarenka bemused as she was respecting the wishes of Ukraine's Svitolina. While Zhukin was disappointed to see that reaction from the crowd, he also stressed there are more important matters to play, or at play, that players not shaking hands after a match. Okay, now talking boxing this morning. But hey, shout out to guys watching us live on Facebook. Sheun Oluyeba, Kazim Gafar, Adedimeji, and Oluwako. All right, now looking at updates from the world of boxing this morning, where Conor Benn has been dropped from the WBC's world rankings. His reintroduction into the WBC rating had been contentious, as Ben still has not publicly resolved his position with the UK anti-doping agency UKAD, or had a British boxing license reinstated after failing drug tests last year. Ben had been provisionally suspended from fighting by UKAD after he twice tested positive for female fertility drug clomiphene ahead of proposed fight against Chris Eubanks Jr. last year. But the WBC have now removed him from their rankings due to the length of time he has gone without boxing, with no date yet set for return to the ring. Now let's talk Formula One this morning, where Lando Norris says McLaren's car remained far away from the cars he wants to be able to drive, as he explained how the MCL60 does not play to his strengths despite its recent upgrade. McLaren have starred at the last two Grand Prix in Austrian Silverstone after introducing big update to their car, with Norris finishing fourth at the Styrian Hills before fending off Lewis Hamilton to finish second at his home race with teammate Oscar Piastri fourth. I think he needs to ask Lewis Hamilton how this man has also been struggling with Mercedes. Okay, now moving away from that, and let's go straight to the second half of the show, where we talk football this morning, and we'll go straight to talk about the FIFA Women's World Cup.
J Slick. Hey. She dey play ball low. Hey. And she dey score goal low. For my heart, you. And she dey give them colo. Hey. God, I use my ass now for life, my true love no be joke, be my wife. Barcelona, you too tight, you number one, my left and right, right. If you be mine, you I go marry you. You be red devil, that's why I do you. Chelsea, I too cherish you. They played up small, I didn't feel you. If you be Marcel, I say they play well. By many, I say you too unique. PSG, Roma, Bordeaux, and Leon, they play well, they play ball.
Okay, play ball by FaZe. Well, remember the Super Falcons of Nigeria faced Canada the wee hours of today around 3 a.m. And, well, the ladies were able to hold their own against the Canadians, to pick a point in their group game, the FIFA Women's World Cup. Well, a lot of people have been, hitting Coach Ronda Waldrum's decision, in late substitution at the FIFA, Women's World Cup. Because if you look at what Nigerians have been saying, well, maybe we say that a thumbs up to the goalkeeper, Nadozie, because of her heroic performance, saving a sports kick in that one. And looking at the tweet coming from the Super Falcons this morning, Nigeria 0, Canada 0. We made a brave start to our night campaign on the global stage with a draw against the Olympic champions, despite finishing the encounter with 10 players in Melbourne. Okay, Chiamaka Nadozie, the standing captain, she was also voted the woman of the game or the woman of the match. But some people already saying that, it should have been the lady sent off in the game. That is Abiodun. That is Deborah Abiodun, who was red carded in that one, the midfielder of the Super Falcons, who also tried pinning down the Canadians. But, well, their award is gone, and we just have to focus on the next game. All right. Now, looking at latest updates this morning, and remember the next game of the day, we see the Spaniards battle their opponents at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Remember games that were played yesterday, right? But let's also let you know that Spain will take on Costa Rica. And talking about the Spanish national team, we're getting updates this morning based on the starting and who has been benched. Well, Putellas is on the bench for Spain against Costa Rica. And, well, remember, Putellas, due to injury and how she has been, managing herself. Well, looking at the starting lineup for the Spanish ladies this morning, Misa Butler, Paredes, Ivana Garcia, Carmona, Bomati, Albert Liera, Duenas de Castillo, Hermoso, Paraluelo, Gonzalez and Rodriguez, all starting for the Spanish ladies. And looking at the bench, Salon Cole, Guerrero, Caldente, Putellas, Hernandez, Codina, Navarro Perez, Redondo, Galvez, Zonozar, all on the bench of the Spanish ladies. And looking at the Costa Rican ladies this morning, starting 11, Solera, Villalobos, Bania Vides, Campo, Coto, Alvarado, Villalobos, Elizondo, Herrera, Solas, Aquila in the first 11. But looking at the bench, Campos, Alvarado, Estrada, Cavalla, Granado, Gulen, Perez, Pinel, Rodriguez, Sanchez, Cote, Tapia, Valenciano, and Verrea on bench for the ladies. Well, remember, 28 minutes ago, we also got the update that Spain captain Ivana Andre has apologized to the Maori people of New Zealand for a video showing members of their Women's World Cup squad mocking the traditional haka. Well, for today's officials, Casa Rebet takes charge of today's game with Ramina Tsoi and Zig Lejeune assistant. The fourth official is Kim Yong-jong. The VAR is Marco Fritz, and the assistant VAR is Amando Villarreal, with the offside VAR being handled by Sian Marce Elise. Okay, also remember that earlier this morning, Switzerland defeated Philippines 2-0 in the Group A game. Well, goals are coming from Bachmann in the 45th minute, and Pubel in the 64th minute gave the Switzerland ladies the needed 3 points against the Filipinos. And, well, looking at how the table stands right now, Switzerland is leading the pack based on how many goals scored, leading New Zealand, on the table, scoring 2 goals, right? But Switzerland is top and New Zealand is second. Norway third, and Philippines 0, placed fourth. Let's go on a break, and when we return, we'll look at more updates on the show this morning. Shout out to Muibi Muhin, Oluwatimilei Oluwadamilari, Adedimeji Anu Oluwapo. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere.
John!
What's up?
Check your phone. I just send you Momo referral.
My mama don't run that one for me since now. Me say for the find who I go refer, make a quick hammer my million.
Hey! You too fit be one of the 12 millionaires for the Momo Refer and Win promo. To win, dial star 671 hash to sharply open your Momo account and select option 6 to refer family and friends then. After that, make sure say them open Momo account and use them recharge airtime or data at least 100 naira. Chicken, the more people where you refer, the more you go win. If you not see out of 12 million naira every week, you fit to chop out of 25 million naira.
Momo Refer and Win promo. The more you refer, the more you win. Promo go run from June 15 till August 9, 2023. Terms and conditions they shall.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with Sumal candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumal food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, mommy. Even the Sumal wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow!
Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
Sumal Foods, love at first bite.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Welcome back. Check the time right now. It is 8:18 from the Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 939 FM. Well, let's also take you straight to what Nigerians are also saying after the game against Canada on Twitter this morning. Well, just Mavi saying Super Falcons match was played early in the morning. If they fight for Big Brother Niger house by 2 a.m., una go there awake, okay? And let us also check this tweet from King Ayokunle at King_Ayokunle saying Super Falcons played beautifully and they showed strength against Canada. With waiting I see this morning, these girls will beat Super Eagles. No jokes, NFF. I hope they go far at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Okay. All right, looking at another tweet here at Benedette 750627 says the Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nadozie was terrific against Canada. She made crucial saves, kept a clean sheet, and to crown it all, she saved a penalty. Igbo to the wall. Is it about the region? Okay, at the last tweet here this morning. Okay, Lord of Nigeria at Lord_of_Nigeria says if the Super Falcons can't beat Canada, they can as well start packing their bags home because they only went there for tourism and photo ops. Don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but failing to beat Canada shows they don't have anything to offer. Are you also of this opinion? Let's get your take following Nigeria's goalless against Canada at the ongoing FIFA Women's World Cup. Remember, Nigeria's next game is against Australia. That should be next week, Thursday. That will be by 11 o'clock. All right, now moving away from that, and let's look at more updates on the show this morning as we move away. Let's talk about football this morning, where Portuguese midfielder Bruno Fernandes has been named as the new captain of Manchester United. The Premier League club confirmed on Thursday the 28-year-old will replace defender Harry Maguire, who was stripped of the team's captaincy by manager Eddie Ten Hag after the England international failed to secure a place in the first team. Fernandes, who has 64 goals and 54 assists in 185 games for the club in all competitions, captained in the absence of Maguire, who spent much of last season on the bench or injured. Well, talking about Harry Maguire, reports had it that United are willing to listen to offers for Maguire this summer and anticipate interest from West Ham United, who made an inquiry about his availability during the January transfer window. So, where will Maguire be headed? Well, some say that I don't want to talk about a club in London that is interested in the defender. Well, remember, West Ham is also in London, but we have more London clubs as well. Well, still talking about Manchester United, and we talk transfer stories. Manchester United completed the signing of goalkeeper Andre Onana from Inter Milan on, that should be on Wednesday, Thursday, and well, he's set to replace David De Gea as Manchester United's new number one after the Spaniard failed to agree terms on a new contract and ended his 12-year stay at Old Trafford earlier this month. Well, remember, United manager Eddie Ten Hag identified Onana as his prime target to replace De Gea after previously working with the Cameroonian during his time in charge of Ajax. Now, Onana spent 7 years at Ajax and won 3 Eredivisie titles, all while Ten Hag was at the helm. before departing on a free transfer to Inter Milan in the summer of 2022. Let's talk about Harry Kane also this morning. Harry Kane will consider leaving Tottenham if the club decides to accept a transfer fee, but won't force a move away this summer. Earlier this month, reports had it that Kane had no intention of signing a new contract at the Premier League club. According to reports, Spurs had been hopeful of staving off interest from Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester United by tying down Kane on a long-term basis, given he has just 1 year left on his £200,000 a week. So now a man has made a return home from Spain. Now, Republic of Ireland international Matt Doherty has completed a return to Wolves on a free transfer. The defender signed a 3-year deal with the Molineux side after making more than 300 appearances during his first spell at the club. Doherty left Wolves for a decade after a decade of service to sign for Tottenham in 2020, but departed Spurs in January on a free transfer and joined Atletico Madrid on a 6-month deal. More transfer updates coming this morning. Okay, still looking at goalkeepers' movement. Well, remember, Nana moving to Manchester United after De Gea's exit, and we're getting update that De Gea has rejected the chance to replace Andre Onana at Inter Milan. So, I mean, if he had moved to Inter Milan, that would be goalkeeper merry-go-round. So it's like a switch for both players if that had worked. But now, let's look at West Ham are close to winning the race to sign Carlo Borges from Manchester City with a £14 million offer set to see off interest from Borussia Dortmund in Germany and another German Bundesliga side, Eintracht Frankfurt. Well, looking at another update here before wrapping up the show. Brighton are interested in signing Fiorentina centre-back Igor Julio, and aren't ruling out the possibility of signing two left-sided central defenders this window. There had been contracts between the South Coast club and the Serie A side, and further talks regarding a deal expected to take place. Well, let's move on this morning as we'll talk about Jordi Alba. Remember, we have two players in Inter Miami talking about the MLS side, Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Inter Miami completed the signing of Jordi Alba on the eve of Lionel Messi and Sergio Busquets' expected debut for ambitious MLS side. Formed in 2018 and co-owned by David Beckham, the Florida club are swinging for the fences at a time when they have the worst record in the league. But look at the players they've signed. Lionel Messi up front, stroke midfield, Sergio Busquets, midfield, stroke defense, Alba, defense, wing, midfield. So, like, they're trying to make things work, right? Okay. All right, guys. Now, let's hold it up here and make a return on Saturday afternoon on Saturday Sports Safari, where we'll tell you more. My name is Oladapo Okunubi. Thank God it's Friday, and feel good.
I'm chilling with the vibe. Money can you go? I want the mini London. Money can you postcode? We only got one life. I believe in YOLO. And I be trying for life. Sure you see the logo. Standard living, and Giant California. To understand how we dey move, you go need encyclopedia. My body life is a movie. Judy, I no fit talk am. Epidemi atadidi, Ogadi day. Oh ya pick one, oh ya pick two, oh ya check up. We dey deliver, then we lock up. LB mention in the drop top. I'll back in follow instructions. Give me liquor, give me ginger. Just a feels not turn into singer. So you spend million on a finger. Carry my tag, go Jerry Springer. I'm chilling with the vibe. Money can you go? I want to be in London. Money can you postcode? We only got one life. I believe in YOLO. And I be trying for life. Sure you see the logo. Check up, we the deliver, then we lock up. LB mention in the drop top. Give me liquor, give me ginger. Just a feels not turn into singer. So you spend million on a finger. Carry my tag, go Jerry Springer.
Solutions 93.9 FM.
We raise the spotlight on the different headlines of our national dailies.
This government, apart from giving that minimum wage of 30,000, which was a 6% rise.
We bring to you in-depth analysis on the major stories making the rounds.
And the CSOs to INEC account for 400 billion naira spent on general elections.
Interviews with political and government stakeholders.
There was a big push on export. We consume a lot. We need to be an economy, an export engine, and we need to be a production.
Every weekday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Welcome to From the Dailies with Favor, Dakwa, Laffy, and Victory. Let's talk about the state of the nation. Your voice matters.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Well, I believe that at this time,
Alright, it's a beautiful Friday morning right here on the Remedy Dial, Solutions 93.9. Welcome to From the Dailies, the last edition for this week. I trust you've had an amazing week. I hope so, because I mean, there's a lot, trailing the newspapers this morning, particularly as it affects Nigerians, the common Nigerians, if I dare say so myself. But anyway, these and more we'll be talking about this morning as we give a perspective on some of the stories that made the front pages of our Nigerian newspapers. Welcome to From the Dailies. My name is Victory Richard.
Oladapo Kunubi is my name. And when you said ordinary Nigerians, like, who are the ordinary Nigerians? And when you said, like, talking about the week, maybe people had a great week. Yeah, maybe we had a great week, but we had eventful week. So it now depends on the angle you want to look at it from the increase of 4-pound price, to the sharing of palliative 8,000 naira, to the withdrawal of that particular plan for a review, and the apologies of Misoma, and different reactions, a lot, the suspension or the withdrawal of the APC, leaders, the chairman and the secretary, the general secretary of the All Progressives Congress having the acting, heads. This and more we look at this morning. Check the time right now. It is 8:34. We also have the burning issue, which we'll also look at this morning. Remember, you can be part of the program. We're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Solutions939FM, facebook.com/Solutions939FM. And in case Facebook has been barred from your vicinity, or you have the YouTube channel, you can as well watch us live and post your comment via YouTube, Solutions939FM. Check the comment section. You can as well tweet at us at Solutions939FM on Twitter. If you want to send us a traffic update, just do the hashtag AM update, hashtag traffic update. Let us know what is happening on the roads in the city of Ibadan.
All right, shortly the phone lines will be open for you to call into the studio. Remember, the Friday's edition is usually open mic. So for stories we were not able to address, you have the opportunity to bring it up and beam spotlights on that story. Of course, I can see comments from Dorcas. She's saying from the USA, well done at work. Great guys. Thank you so much, ma'am, for dropping that comment. We'll also like to get your perspective on some of the stories. Right now, we'll dive into some of the newspapers. I'll be taking stories from the Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard newspaper.
I've got the Punch and the Nation newspapers this morning. Let's go.
All right, let's kick off with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. FBN grows profit before tax to 206 billion naira from 123. Court orders DSS to grant Kanu access to his doctor and medical records. Rep asks NERC to stop increase in electricity tariff. Chairmanship replacing Adamu with Ganduje, political suicide. Lukman, APC Vice Chair, speaking there. And now to the biggest story in the Vanguard newspaper, palliatives. Buhari's social register lacks credibility. Riders to that, ask states to generate own register for cash transfer. Federal government to distribute 252,000 metric tons of grains to states. Says FAAC shared 900 billion naira, not 1.9 trillion naira. State failed to give definite date on when register will be ready. Labour accuses federal government to jettison presidential committee on palliative. Now you would recall that this is a recurrent story in the dailies for a couple of days now. We've argued and questioned, the social register by the former administration that would be used in distribution of the palliatives to the poor and vulnerable Nigerians in that regard. It's been said, how were these numbers or these datas generated, right? And, there's been a lot of conversation on that. But right now we're getting a message from next saying that it's not credible. They're charging states government to form their own register. That way, to be easy to access local government and break it down to several divisions.
So it will be from a state government.
Yeah, from state government down to local government and down to the individuals. So let's hope that this, in turn, brings or somewhat reaches out to who needs to have this money.
Because I wanted to ask, how sure are you that your name is on the register in the state?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe when they do the breakdown, the divisions, hopefully my name will appear and yours will appear as well. But let's continue with the stories. I'm vulnerable. I don't think there's any Nigerian right now that's not vulnerable. I mean, the reason we have, even the powers that be increasing their allowance is because they're also vulnerable. The economy is touching everybody.
Yeah.
I was coming to work this morning and I couldn't believe how free the roads were. In Lagos, we saw videos yesterday of how Lagos is so busy. We saw videos of how Lagos roads, like major roads, were very free.
So that means it's easier for people to travel right now if you have the money.
It's not when you have few that you want to travel. They're saying people are not going to work with personal vehicles. They're talking about having few to travel. It is well with our nation.
Yorubas will say sometimes, some issues that you are meant to cry about. You get to a state that you just laugh. That's the reason I'm laughing this morning.
Just to ease the ease the tension and pain. It's all right. District headquarters activates war mode against terror as military kills 23. Presidential tribunal news of Justice Ugo's resignation fake, and that's a statement from appeal court. WHO warns unsafe syrup in Cameroon and says it might slip into Nigeria and other neighboring countries. These are the stories that made the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, going straight to the Punch newspaper. This morning, I'm punching down headlines. Looking at the cap headlines this morning, APC crisis. NWC members oppose Ganduje. Tip North Central for chair. Military destroys the 23 illegal refineries. Arrest 60 oil thieves. NNPCL, UTM to build Nigeria's first floating gas plant. And the banner headline this morning from the Punch newspaper. Subsidy removal. Governors plan cash transfers to poor households. Dump Buhari's list. And right as to that headline says, states to compile new social registers. Governors to spend FAAC allocations on scheme. Next, the rider says Tinubu approves infrastructure fund. NEC adopts gas-powered vehicles for states. And look at the front page picture this morning where we have Vice President Kashim Shettima chairing the National Economic Council meeting at the Presidential Council Chambers State House, Abuja, on Thursday. And, the shoe riders this morning from the Punch newspaper. Jam Saga, Soludo sends Mesoma on 3-month psychotherapy. Ignore statements announcing oral rights. Lagos tells residents. And the last headline, PSC promotes cop assaulted by Sheun Kuti. 14,053 orders. You want to read more? Get a copy of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, away from the Punch, let's now move over to Nigerian Tribune, beginning with the story. Disease outbreak kills 10 children in Kafanchan. Check that story on page 26. FAAC shares 907 billion naira in June 2023 revenue to federal government, states, and local government. Anambra hands over Mesoma to psychotherapist for 3 months counseling. Find that on page 12. And now to business. First Bank grows profit to 188 billion naira. To the biggest story on the Nigerian Tribune, NEC dumps Buhari's National Social Register. Writers to that says it lacks integrity. Queries how poorest of the poor will have access to telephones, bank accounts. Tells states, local government to develop own social register, implement cash transfer programs. OK tax-free cash award for public servants to ease hardship. CBN NEMA to flood markets with grains. More stories from the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government to close session of Eco Bridge for 40 days. Anyway, the roads are free because this is, I can't count the number of times Eco Bridge has been closed. But it's in Lagos, so we have no business with that. They'll be fine.
Oh shit, Lagos boy.
NULGE seeks 300% minimum wage increase for local government workers. I don't know what to say about that story. Lashes at Kaduna, Abia, Anambra, Kogi, Sokoto, Kwara for non-implementation of 30,000 minimum wage. It's really sad that even with the current state of our economy, some states, up until this moment, since its implementation, are yet to kick off the 30,000 minimum wage.
The reason people said that the 300,000 naira proposed minimum wage by the organized labor may not fly. If some states cannot pay the new minimum wage, so how can the 300,000 naira fly?
Reps move to avert air crashes, probe incidents of contaminated aviation fuel. Wants NERC discos to suspend proposed electricity tariff increase. These are the stories that made the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Okay, so let's just quickly inform the sport lovers that the game between Spain and Costa Rica at the FIFA Women's World Cup has kicked off. 14 minutes, into the game is goalless. But remember, Nigeria Super Falcons played out goalless against Canada this morning. I don't know if you woke up to watch that game. It's not Hedis or it's not The Voice. Okay. All right, now going straight to the Nation newspaper this morning. Shareholders, OK Nova's conversion to commercial bank. That's a cap headline. Next cap headline here from the Nation newspaper. President leads tribute for eminent writer Kunle Omotosho. Look at other headlines. More Nigerians now apply for passport, says NIS. Dangote Cement buys back 41.2 billion naira shares. Okay, now looking at the red headline from the Nation newspaper, PSC appoints 2 DIGs, promotes 14,052 inspectors to ASPS. Banner headline this morning, NEC OK subsidy paying cash for poor workers, SMEs, others. Right after that headline, governors to drive sharing of palliatives. And okay, now let's look at what happened in Benue State. That's the former governor of Benue State. I've forgotten his name now. Remember, after leaving office, they went to his car garage. They saw different cars. I think up to 20 or there about 30. So, and remember, in some states they looted palliative centers where they kept some palliatives for COVID-19. So if governors are to be in charge of this, I don't know how this can work. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but
this is in Benue.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving an example of different states. Remember, some palliative. I mean, some centers where they kept some palliative stuff. I think in Lagos, some places were looted. Yes. And some governors did not even give out the palliatives. But okay, what of states where some governors, like Edo State, where there's some civil servants, I mean, I think in some ministries, they already done some palliatives of saying, okay, they brought solar panel as palliative. And some states where they reduced the transport fare.
Those who did borehole for communities.
As palliative. For subsidy. Okay.
Speaking of Benue, I missed the headline here that says Benue government uncovers salary pardon.
Yes.
Ghost workers.
Ghost workers. I think 25,000 ghost workers. So I wanted to mention.
We had a similar story with that.
That happened
in Abia.
In Abia. And we saw millions of naira, wasted.
Over 200 million monthly.
And, we were talking to Comrade Oluomotosho where he said that, it is, a strategy by, different, administrations. Because if you have a new government also come on board, they will surely do their review and also say that there are ghost workers. And at the end of the day, an opportunity to give money to the boys. Remember what's coming? Yeah. Okay, so for Autumn was the name of the ex-governor I wanted to remember. After I left office, they went to his garage and saw official cars that was meant to drop, and they saw it at his other automobile garage. But let's move on this morning and look at some other headlines. Senate differs recess for ministerial screening. Senate defies recess for ministerial screening. And this headline says that Tinubu creates infrastructure support fund for states. And the last set of headlines here. Court asks DSS to grant Kano access to doctors. Echo Bridge shut again. You know, the way they wrote it in Tribune is different, a little bit different from the Nation. So the way they wrote it in the Nation is to get you scared. For those of you who are used to going to Lagos anytime, fiam, you go to Lagos anytime, fiam, you come back from Lagos. Well, maybe you can use the rail. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I even have to use that because I'm just thinking about what the cost price is right now, even for
using the train.
Yes. No, the train
Okay.
still maintains its
The normal
regular.
price?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. still
Okay,
maintaining,
so
but
the subsidy removal does not affect train.
it doesn't use fuel.
I know, but we can have a situation. No, we are just saying this, but I can assure you that in the next few months you hear, okay, because of this and that, we have increased the price
Nothing
of transportation
surprises me in this
via the
country
rail.
anymore. Nothing would surprise me if that happens.
And I'm not saying that. I mean, well, I also need to give you thumbs up. I mean, the way, how much did you spend, using flight?
Well, at the time was 75.
Okay. Was it the same price when you traveled and when you returned?
No, so the thing about flights is you have to book it.
I know now.
Ahead
I
of
know.
time.
I'm just talking about the price. Don't
No,
make
the
me look.
price
Don't let people
differed.
think-
No, I'm just trying to explain to you why the price wasn't the
Okay.
same. If I had booked, to and fro when I was going,
Yeah,
it would have been
cheaper.
the same. But
the same,
I didn't book it at the time, and
Okay.
I had to pay an extra 15,000 to topple the one I paid when I was initially.
Let me rub your back, my friend.
Oh boy, it was serious.
Okay, now let's go straight to the burning issue this morning. First is, former Senator Shehu Sani talking about the 8,000 naira palliative, the cash transfer to poorer Nigerians. Is this the right decision at the right time?
Well, I believe that at this time, the country we have come to a near collective decision that the subsidy regime was a fraud, and it has been a drain pipe on our economy, and it has always served as a cesspool of corruption for a few rent-seeking Nigerians. Having said that, what this government has done differently was the courage and the boldness of removing the subsidy and being able to face the challenges that came along with it. But what was unfortunate and wrongly done was the fact that there supposed to be a clear layout plan on what should be done if this subsidy was removed. And I think we should also be clear, the past administration of Buhari never made provisions for subsidy. But having known that after the elections, when the winner was announced, within that space of a period, there are supposed to be a plan, a Marshall Plan, that there is bound to be consequences after this removal, and these are the plans that we have to tackle these issues. But it appears that immediately after the subsidy regime ended, then now they start thinking of what to do, and then the ridiculous idea of 8,000 naira came into the national discourse. And for anyone who is a citizen of this country or who is a close watcher of what is happening today, one knows that the idea of sharing stipend of 8,000, it's something that is, in fact, unacceptable and seems contemptuous when you put into tally the reality of inflation in the country and the number of people that will benefit from this stipend.
Wow, Senator Shehu Sani speaking there last night concerning that subsidy palliative, and coming at the wrong time or maybe the wrong way. of looking at the palliative and how much to be spent. Now, let's also look at another burning issue this morning. If you look at the front page of the Punch this morning, and that should be the shoe headline: Jam Saga. Soludo sends Mesoma on 3 months psychotherapy. Now, before sending Mesoma on psychotherapy, she faced Jam, where she also apologized for her, for what she did concerning her results. Maybe after apologies, maybe something better should have been done. But let's listen to Miss Sherman's apology here.
Dear sir, letter of profound apology. Permit me to use this medium to pen this letter of apology with a heavy heart. I humbly seek your forgiveness for the mistakes I've made and the pain I've caused. I'm by name H.K. Mesoma, the young girl who was once celebrated for what appeared to be an exceptional UTME score. I deeply and sincerely admit that I ignorantly got my JAMB results from another portal, which was not JAMB portal, but in the course of this, I lambasted JAMB, solidly standing on my ground that I obtained my results from JAMB portal. I apologize for all the apportioned blame and all the pains I've caused. I want to emphasize that ignorance played a significant role in my misguided action. I lacked a clear understanding of the far-reaching consequences and the impact my actions would have. Words cannot adequately describe the depths of pain I feel for letting you down. This is the first time in my life and academic studies that I will be accused for any form of misbehavior. It's not in my character and personality. Therefore, I plead for leniency and total forgiveness for my misconduct. I want to emphasize my genuine commitment to making amends. It is through this understanding of self-reflection that I willingly accept the recommendations I wholeheartedly accept to rectify my mistakes and become a better person. Finally, I request that you tamper justice with mercy concerning the ban that was imposed on me. Thanks for your understanding and consideration. Yours sincerely, H.K. Mesoma.
Well, I would say that that's a well thought out apology, but the question is, did she write this apology, or was it written for her such that it fits into, or appeals to the consciousness and sentiments of Nigerians and the panel that will be handling her case? Because I mean, I watched your previous video where you sounded confident to not knowing how your JAMB result seemed fraudulent, and now you're saying a larger chunk of blame should go to ignorance. It's not adding up to me, and it feels really sad. Like it or not, everyone who acts in a particular way should be ready, or acts in a way that is deterrent or deviant to the law, should be ready to face the consequence that comes with it. So I'm not feeling any form of sentiment or pity towards her. She had flawed, she had disobeyed, and whatever punishment that comes with it, she needs to face the music.
Looking at, I'm just trying to get the last video where she said that she did not forge the results. Let's listen here, so that just before I say anything.
This is my aggregate 362. This is exactly how I printed it. I downloaded it from that site. So they now saying that I forged my results is what I don't know, and I'm traumatized that they accused me of forging my own results. because I am not capable of this forging results. This is the evidence. Okay, they say that I forged my results. They scanned this QR code.
Okay. So, a lady who spoke with confidence, you know, in the this last video, you know, apologizing. But you know, Benjamin, I mean, the spokesperson for JAMB, you know, came out saying that she was being instructed, someone was teaching her and the likes. But we still need a lot of people still need to be brought to book. Either someone within JAMB, either someone in the school, either someone in the family, you know, teaching her what to say, teaching her to defend. Now coming out to apologize, she never said that she was taught. Those people those people need to be brought to book. And I mean, thumbs up to Anambra State government for setting up a panel. And yes, we also need to come out to say thumbs up to JAMB for doing the right thing at the right time. Also, they need to also sit up. I mean, for JAMB, you were telling me a story of someone who was wrongfully graded, and the parents took up the matter. It was rightfully graded and passed beyond the result he got. And JAMB did not come out, you know, publicly go to the media to apologize. So everybody in different parts must also do the right thing and make sure that we all enjoy every benefit of being a Nigerian, and also trust every sector, you know, from education to politics, I mean to monetary sector. Every sectors must be trusted. So if we cannot trust JAMB or trust other agencies, how can we trust those who will share the 8,000 naira per day?
I don't know how they're going to do it, but someone will have to serve or face the consequences for Mesoma's action. That way it serves as a deterrent to whoever intends or has plans to do something like this. We're already, you know, in a pool of our educational system being degraded, you know, and we don't want to have that anymore. We don't want to have, you know, the people who are now doing it right to seem as though they don't know what they're doing, because some people decide to act fraudulent. Because at the end of the day, what you hear is, you know, in general terms, you rarely hear, you know, the person, the perpetrator being fingered at. Is always a general terminology, and we don't want to see that in the educational sector. You know, sad as it is, you did it ignorantly, or whatever medium you used in doing it. You have to face, you're no longer a child. You know, I don't think she's an adult yet. I think she's 17.
Yeah,
she's not 18.
At a point, they said she's 18. Yeah, she's 18, started trending. And, you know, a lot of lies came out
no,
of
I saw.
came
I
out
don't
of
even
this.
think. I think she's not even up to that.
She's
Because
18.
Judging from the results, if you can view that.
So which one do we want to believe?
No, we'll go by what we see on the result. I think it's 99 thereabouts. Either 99. Okay. Anyway, if it's 99, it should be more than 18 though. Be that as it may, adolescent or adult or whatever social strata she belongs to, she committed a huge crime and she needs to face it. She's 16. That's what we're saying, 16.
Okay, so some said 19-year-old, some said 16-year-old.
That's the thing. It's always a discrepancy. But I think she's 16. She's not too.
You think?
19. No, from the because I looked
according
at
to different reports we are seeing.
The JAMB results had her.
Okay.
Yes, age grade there. So let's
Okay.
see what happens. You know, eventually, like you said, how do we now trust you know, the palliative distribution? Now we're seeing from one of the stories, which is one of the biggest story, of course, that the social register by the past administration has been said to lack credibility, hence it won't be used. They're now charging state and local government to go ahead and formulate their own register. That way, with their own register, we can be accountable, or they can be held accountable if monies were to be missing. You know, so we're looking forward to see that register happen, and how myself, my colleagues, and every other person in different local government will be integrated into that register, because it's been questioned severally as to how the register of, you know, the former president was generated. We have joined us this morning, Ayodeji. Adishokbe. He's a comrade, yes.
Yeah, you put a comrade.
Yes,
there.
of course.
You put a comrade. Comrade, good morning to you. Thank you for
Comrade
joining us.
brothers.
My comrade, I greet you specially. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us this morning. And well, first we need to ask if you have your name on the state register or the federal register. You know, you are not a vulnerable Nigerian, though.
I am not a vulnerable Nigerian.
You're not?
I must say.
This fuel is not affecting you.
I am not.
I love it.
Going by whatever statistics.
I love it.
I am not. And I dare say you are not.
You don't know.
Come
Don't
check
do
my
that,
account
comrade.
balance.
You don't know my account balance. You don't know the state of my pocket.
Even you will not qualify for the education subsidy fund.
Comrade. Comrade, let's not do that.
You are above that bracket.
You know, I was telling that earlier on the show that I think that everybody's affected by the state of our economy. Hence, the powers that be, they're also clamoring for an increase. You know, they're looking for monies at different. It's because they are affected as well. So it may seem as though we're all in the bracket of.
Let me explain. You see, that is where the problem is. Nigerian, the one you call the average Nigerian, is compelled. I emphasize that word, compelled to live. I want to call it I don't want to call it belt tightening. I want to call it to live smart, not even to live smarter. But they don't want to live smarter. They want their process to expand, to cope, to continue to live large. That is the difference. They don't want to live smart. Nigerians are compelled. You and I are compelled. It's a matter of compulsion to live smart. They don't want to. They want to sustain that lifestyle. It is us sacrificing. That's what people are saying. If you say ask us to sacrifice, we must see you are sacrificing too. It's as simple as that.
Fair enough. Let's get down into the story right now. NEC is dumping Buhari's National Social Register, saying it lacks integrity and credibility. However, they've instructed state and local government to go establish their own social register data. Now, by the trajectory of what we've seen in the country's, gathering of data and analysis, would you say we have the technical know-how to put out a social register that contains detailed information of the poor and vulnerable Nigerians as it is right now?
I just had a conversation with a finance consultant, a man of integrity by any means, by global standards. And he assured us that the social register that has in gestation was compiled through certain processes not controlled entirely by Nigerians, verified and verifiable, and that it may happen that what the governors want to do now may be worse than the social register that is being petitioned. It may turn out to be political. It may turn out to, to go down to the local government level, to go down to the ward level. People just put their friends' names, their wives, and all of that. That it may be worse. But I tell you that the difference is this. People will know. It's just going to be an open thing now. They will openly take it to the local government levels, openly take it to the ward levels. And people can say, no, this one is not vulnerable. No, this one is not vulnerable. Transparency is the key word. Transparency is the key word. Yes. Because when the social register was compiled, people didn't get to know about it. You understand? It was done, yes, but people didn't get to know about it. The criteria and all of it, no. But this time around, when the governors do it, they will push it down to the local government level, and at the local government level, to be pushed down to the ward level, and at the ward level, it may even be pushed down to the polling unit level, and then people can challenge it. It is challengeable. at that level, and that will result in transparency and give it some level of integrity. But how long will that take before that gets compiled and before you put it together and before this palliative gets to the people? How long? How long? How long?
Because we're already suffering as it is. So it needs to happen if it has to happen.
Okay, now let's talk about the palliative, comrade. You know, I don't know if you listen to Sheikh Husani, talking about the palliative, looking at how much, that is 500 billion, to be used, and that should be monthly. And if you do the calculation for 6 months, that is going to, be a lot of money. Well, very soon we'll be having the special report concerning that, although the federal government has also come out to say that, President Bola Tinubu has withdrawn that plan of a cash transfer to see the next thing they can do. But what should be the right way to say we want to give palliative to Nigerians?
The finance consultant that I spoke with this morning said he does not even like all those things palliative. He told me that people in the southern part are not as honest as those leaders in the northern part when it comes to the palliatives getting down. That some of the southern leaders, the political leadership, hoarded and impounded, and he even said made fortunes out of those palliatives during the COVID era. Now, the palliatives, and he suggested, and I'm going to share his idea, that look, where is this thing hitting us the hardest? It is the transport sector that is hitting us the hardest, and that is hitting everyone. Why don't you put transport infrastructure in place? But my argument is, when will that happen? But if you throw money at it, the money will also disappear. You understand? The money will disappear. So why don't you do things that will last? Transport infrastructure, including fixing the potholes that are bound in the whole of Ibadan and out elsewhere, and putting, those buses on the road at subsidized, you understand, at subsidized rate. And I trust Nigerians, if you are not vulnerable, Nigerians, the big man is, I won't want to go and ride in those buses. You won't want to go and ride in them. It is actually the vulnerable that will be riding in them. So those are some of the things he suggested, and then the release of grains that will crash the prices. I was reading about grains. Poultry Association of Nigeria, they were complaining. Yes. 240,000 to 400,000 per ton.
Most groceries are now shutting down based on headlines we saw on Monday because of what has been happening.
All of this put together is already hitting at the small and medium scale enterprises, which constitutes nothing less than 9% of Nigeria's economy. That is the biggest danger because it is hitting them hard and they are shutting down. Imagine what will happen to the source of protein, meat protein, poultry, if they shut down, eggs for children, and protein, meat for adults. Imagine if they shut down.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Still talking about ways, Nigerians are looking or suggesting this palliative gets to them. The National Union of Local Government Employees are saying that they need 300% minimum wage increase. But you would also recall that some states in Nigeria are yet to implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage increase that was recently implemented. We have states like Kaduna, Abia, Kogi, Sokoto, Kwara. They're yet to do this. And we have local governments now suggesting a 300% increase. Do you see the feasibility of this happening, with the states not even yet implementing 30,000 minimum wage?
Yeah, labor leaders, we have been told, when we challenge them that they're not fighting for Nigerians, they say no, they have been told that they are not expected to fight for Nigerians. They're expected to fight for those who pay them. The checkoff, they are union members. Their job is to fight for Nigerians. Their job is to fight for the employees from where they get their checkoff. So that has narrowed their scope. Now, when the public servants, civil servants, those who work in government ministry departments and agencies, when they get this, wage increment, how many employers of labor, those who employ 10, those who employ 3, the private school teachers who pay as little as 20,000 and all of that, the employers, except the blue chip companies, that are employing in hundreds and make money in billions, can afford to meet that. What about the small and medium scale enterprises that constitute the bulk of our GDP? How are they going to pay that? And then inflation will come, and then we all go to the same market. Those are the issues. There should be more pragmatic ways of easing the pay rather than just increasing salaries. There should be more pragmatic ways. It might not be short term, but definitely I know that government will throw money at this.
Okay.
It is going to happen. Government will certainly increase salary. It is certain. It is certain.
Okay, but
no way.
You look at the Benue, sorry to come in here, you look at the Benue State. You know how much that has been owed and how can they recover, paying old salaries and paying the new, salaries. But let's just wait and see at the end of the day if this will come to light. Now, let's go straight and talk politics before we talk education and wrap up the show. It's like there is a hole in the wall of APC. And with the way things are, there's a wall gecko in, or maybe we have different rodents in the wall of APC. It's like some set of people are against Ganduje becoming the chairman of the party. Remember, Adamu left, Omishore also resigned during the week, and it looks like the wall is coming down. How can they put a cement or use, is this more Dr. Piff Puff to chase off the rodents in APC?
Now, we tend to magnify these issues within these political parties. What we call disagreements, what we call crisis, they are just tendencies. There is no political party. In the Republican Party, in the Democratic Party, you have the centrists. You have those are the right of it. You have, the people who are at the extreme. These are the tendencies. The centrists, the middle people, roaders, and all of that. These are the tendencies that we see. And don't forget that APC is a conglomeration, an aggregation of the progressives in quotes and even the conservatives. You're not going to rank Muhammadu Buhari, who ran this country for 8 years, as a progressive. You're not going to rank him. You're not going to rank Ayan El-Rufai, a progressive. He has always been a cause. So when people like Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his group are in the same party with people like Muhammadu Buhari, even in the days of SDP, there were tendencies. It is sharper now because these are people who do not have the same ideological values. These are tendencies. If the same Ganduje should not be chairman, when I read it that Ganduje was being cheated, what came to my mind was that the president was just to dump the man, make him a chairman, and in a few years they will do a regular election, and the man is out of office and without a role. For me, that's my own political interpretation. That they just want to fix him without position. He will be there for a few years. then something will happen, and then he will be out of office, out of favor, out of office, and out of the equation. He will no longer, he will not be a minister. So these are the tendencies. It's a chess game. Politics is a chess game. It depends on what is happening. It depends on what you are strategizing about. It depends on your goal, your medium, short-term, and long-term goals. These are tendencies. How could Omishori Bichara is the secretary of APC, for God's sake? APC, Omishori, is he a progressive? Of course, he was in Alliance for Democracy, you will say. Others also know he's not a progressive. Abdullah Adamu, the Maru, became the chairman of APC. How will Adamu become the chairman of APC, for God's sake? But these are tendencies. And when a particular tendency has the upper hand, that tendency will put his own men to be in charge. Buhari, a non-progressive, put his own conservative elements in charge. It's as simple as that. Bola Tinubu is a progressive element within the fold. He will put his own men in charge. It's as simple as that. These are tendencies.
So that is what is playing right now in APC, right? So let us go on a break. And when we return, we'll look at Mesoma's case and we'll wrap up. Thank you very much for holding on.
John, what's up? Check your phone. I just send you Momo referral. My mama don't run that one for me since now. Me say for the fine who I go refer, make a quick hammer my million.
Hey, you too fit be one of the 12 millionaires for the Momo Refer and Win promo. To win, dial star 671 hash to sharply open your Momo account and select option 6 to refer family and friends then. After that, make sure say them open Momo account and use and recharge airtime or data at least 100 naira. Chicken, the more people where you refer, the more you go win. If you lost out of 12 million naira every week, you fit chop out of 25 million naira. Momo Refer and Win promo. The more you refer, the more you win. Promo go run from June 15 till August 9, 2023. Terms and conditions they shall.
Mommy!
Yes, daughter?
Why is it that almost everyone in my school comes with Sumo candies and biscuits? I just want to know.
Yes, darling. It's because Sumo food is amazing and simply the best.
Yes, mommy. Even the Sumo wafers and the chewing gum that you've always given to us are extremely delicious and captivating.
Hello, everyone. Here's your bread. Of course, it's yellow bread.
Wow! Thanks, my dear. We always enjoy Jolly bread. For your biscuits, wafers, candies, chewing gum, and bread.
Sumo Foods, love at first bite.
Sumo Foods, love at first bite.
Keep it 93.9.
Welcome back, still from the dailies on AM Updates, live on your Remedy Radio dial, Solutions 939 FM. Victor Richard here, Oladapo Kunubi also behind the mic, and Comrade Ayode Jajishokwe with us this morning. So, Comrade, let's go straight and talk about Misoma's case. If you look at the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning and you go down that newspaper, the same as The Nation, what the Anambra State government has decided to do. Jam Saga, Soludo sends Mesoma on 3-month psychotherapy. A good decision. I mean, this is coming after her, a live apology or, the media apology, which she did that should be 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yes. When I saw that story this morning, I said to myself, it is good, but it shouldn't be Mesoma alone that should be put on that therapy program. She evolved from a certain background. You see, a friend of mine will say, at conception, you are 75%. The moment of conception, you are 75% of what you are going to be. Others will be determined by environmental influences. Of course, she is what she is as a result of that 20% constituting environmental influences. The environmental influences under which she came that made her turn out to be that made her think that it was appropriate to do that and left her unguided. Unguided. Will include the father and will include the mother. We never heard of a mother in this regard, but of course, they will know after investigation. They should be included in the processes of therapy because she did not and does not exist in a vacuum. That is just it. She must not be alone on that process, the father and the mother. And believe you me, our siblings should be involved. It has to be a holistic thing. They should be involved on that process.
Because I told Victory here that a lot of people still need to be brought to book. There are still some people who were not mentioned in this. I mean, those who gave her the confidence to go on social media, post, and still giving her the backing, either within the Anambra State government or in JAM or in the school or in a house or in the environment. Maybe if these people are brought to book, a lot of people will sit tight. But let's just wait and see, because I know this particular issue is still, it may look like it is over.
It's not over. Let's talk about the video apology once again, as we, reference it to the previous one, where she was quite confident about not, manipulating her results. And fast forward to that, we're seeing now that she's saying she acted based on ignorance, and she's also appealing.
Ignorance?
Yeah, that's what she said in the video, that she acted based on ignorance, and she's also appealing to JAM to remove the ban imposed on her.
And she's even laying conditions.
Do you understand? That's why I'm a little, I'm a little.
You see, in the religious processes, wait, in the processes of religion, you will come to a realization that you have sinned. That is the religious process. That applies to the secular world. You will come to a realization that, I have sinned. It is when you come to that realization that you have done something wrong in the secular world now, that you will now be sober, and then you become penitent. It is when you become penitent that you start thinking of restitution and asking for forgiveness. These are processes. They are processes applicable in the spiritual and the secular world. A sense of guilt, a sense of self-conviction and guilt. That is what makes you penitent. It is when you are now penitent that, why would I have done this? Oh, this is improper. And then you now start asking for, pardon, based on your penitence, not based on I was ignorant. A person saying I was ignorant, breaking the law, saying I was ignorant, were they not taught in school that you don't cheat?
That's it.
Was that not taught in civics that you don't teach? Were the person giving out moral instructions? You understand? Was cheating, don't cheat, not part of the moral instruction, and you now come out at O levels, secondary school, etc., to say you acted based on ignorance, something as basic as cheating? I mean,
I was a little indifferent with the whole apology, and I stated earlier that I feel it was something that was written for her, and it wasn't well articulated, because it doesn't appeal to my sentiment to want to even feel some level of pity for her. It wasn't sounding remorseful, just listening to her, not taking accountability, but trying to apportion blame to some persons.
You apportion blame?
Also placing a demand.
No,
not that she was apportioning.
No, indirectly, she didn't have to say this. She indirectly said it. You saying he was on ignorance.
Misled.
Yes.
Ignorance.
Misled by who? That is where I'm going to. So who were the people behind that?
Nobody knew about any person. The person they would talk about.
Believe me,
she's the
person. Be honest, we need to dig deeper and get to the root of it.
Okay. Unfortunately, today is Friday.
People are not interested in that.
Honestly,
today is Friday. Today is not Tuesday for digging deep. But let's just finish the show here. Thank you. Thank you very much, comrade Ayodeji Ajishokbe.
My pleasure always. My pleasure always.
But remember,
always engaging.
Yeah, remember to catch Ayode Jajishokwe on Sunday on Pendulum.
Oh yes, which way Nigeria? That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Which way Nigeria?
Your favorite song?
Where's the ship of state heading to?
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Comrade Vic Riches.
Thank you, sir.
You have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Okay, so Comrade Ayode Jajishokwe there. So we have to wrap up this morning, and set for the. For the weekend, right? We cannot be disturbing ourselves with so many disturbing news. Well, let's be positive.
Take some time to just cool off.
Yeah, cool off.
Yes. Go to a swimming session.
So what's the plan for this weekend, Victory?
Well,
starting with the movie premiere today, right?
I have a movie premiere to attend.
You have, I mean, we have.
Yeah, I have. I don't know.
Oh, because I'm not dressed. I'm not dressed for the original.
I'm wearing Ashoke. I'll be an infusion of Ashoke.
A remixed version.
Yeah, it's a remixed version. Because I mean, that's the costume for today.
Yeah.
And, do that. Listen to great music. Take some time to read a couple. I started reading, some books to just, get me really inspired. Because right now, if you allow the current state of things, to becloud your mind, you just see that you start acting on it, and I can assure you that your actions will not yield positive results. So how about you take some time for some distractions, read books, go out for recreational activities, paint and sip, just try something new, go out for games, go out for movie dates, and just do something that will take your mind off. I know that all these things require, because somebody is saying, go out, where's the money? Outside is expensive. I understand. Well, I mean, we do these things even before this whole issue started, right? So just take the time, the list that you can do it.
Okay, so Victory, what you just said now, just took me back to when there was COVID-19 lockdown. And a lot of people on social media like, if this lockdown is over like this, invite me to 20 events, I will attend. How this house is boring, this is that. Fast forward 2 years later. Is it 2 years later? There's an increase in fuel pump price, and people are saying, if you want to visit me, if you don't come in before visiting, you're on your own.
I was telling some of my friends that they will come to Ibadan and they will put on their status, I'm in your city, you're on your own, no? You're in my city, so what should happen? You're in my city, find your way to me. Or I'm in Lagos, you're not telling me that, so you come Lagos, you know how lie Oga, madam, if you want to see me, is that you're sending me money for commercial movement?
Well, talking about the weather forecast and what we are monitoring right now, by 11 o'clock, we should be expecting showers of rain in the city of Ibadan. And by 1 p.m., thunderstorm. We expect the sun to be out by 3 and 4 o'clock till 5 p.m. today. And by 6 o'clock, we should be expecting another round of thunderstorm in the city of Ibadan. That is what the weatherman is saying. So for those of you going out, try. And I know now they are producing all these portable umbrellas with different designs and covers like capsule and the like. So for the ladies, they know how to do that, put it in their bags. And for guys, well, all these your small bags, you can put your umbrellas or do there's this rubber shower, is it raincoats? Yeah, raincoats, rubber shoes, rubber palms to enjoy your Friday. Well, my name is Oladapo Kunubi.
All right, my name is Victory Richard. I hope you have the most blissful weekend.
And stay with the stamina.